99% of YouTube vlog channels fail. Today, I want to have an honest conversation about why that is and what you can do to guarantee that your channel succeeds. To give you some context, I monetized my own YouTube channel in just 6 weeks via my first paid brand deal, and then I monetized my YouTube channel in just 10 weeks via YouTube AdSense. I achieved all of this while just recording with my iPhone and a cheap tripod from Amazon and editing my videos with iMovie. So my success had nothing to do with my aesthetics or any sort of fancy equipment or editing software. And then after monetizing my channel relatively quickly, I grew my channel to just over 39,000 subscribers after less than a year of starting YouTube. And that was even after taking a 4-month break from posting on YouTube. And during that 4-month break, my channel growth was still extremely consistent. So without fancy equipment and without being consistent, my YouTube channel is still a part of the minority of channels that has succeeded. And since I've started this channel and talked about my growth here on the platform, I've gotten so many questions from new and aspiring vloggers who are wondering how they can grow their own channels. So today I finally want to carve out some space specifically for my lifestyle creator friends and have a brutally honest, no BS chat about why your channel is failing and what you can do to change that. All right, so reason number 1 why your vlog channel might not be performing the way that you want it to is because you're approaching the concept of a niche all wrong. One of the first pieces of advice that you're going to hear when you're researching on how to start a new channel is to pick a niche. But vlogging is not a niche. Vlogging is just a video format. And the way that a lot of YouTube and content creator gurus talk about niches can be kind of confusing and conflicting. And it was confusing and conflicting for me when I first started as well. So when I first started my channel and I heard the advice that I should niche down, I took that super literally and I decided to make videos about one super specific topic. For me, that topic was starting an Etsy shop. That's because at the time I was a full-time teacher and I started an Etsy shop selling digital products, and I wanted to use my YouTube channel as an opportunity to talk about that and maybe share some tutorials related to Etsy. And these videos performed decently well for a new channel, but it wasn't until I stepped outside of the super hyper specific niche of Etsy that I actually started to see impressive growth on my channel. So I just told you that vlogging is not a niche, it's a video format. But picking a super specific singular topic to talk about also limits you as a creator, and it's going to naturally limit your ability to grow here on YouTube. So rather than making your channel too generic or too hyper specific, you need to pick a topic that meets somewhere in the middle. And what that looks like is picking a central topic for your channel and building your entire channel around that topic. So rather than my channel niche being Etsy, my channel niche is now making money online. And pretty much every video that I post some way relates to that broad niche. So whether I'm making a video that's a step-by-step tutorial, or I make a vlog or lifestyle video, or I make just a broadly educational sort of talking head helpful video like the one I'm making now, they all somehow tie into the story of how I make money online, regardless of what specific niche, whether it's YouTube or Etsy or the stock market or investing or whatever it is. Every single video on my channel is going to broadly relate to that topic. So what might this look like if you decide that you want to be a vlogger and that's the format or style of videos that you want to make on your channel? So if you want to be a vlogger, what that basically means is that you want the format of the videos on your channel to be vlog style videos, which basically just means that you're creating cinematic videos that take people through either a day or a week or even a month in your life. But again, that's just a video format. It's not a niche. So you still need to hone in on a central niche that makes sense for your channel and also genuinely interests you. For me, that niche is making money online. And that might be the same for you, or it might be different. Maybe centrally you want to talk about your journey of becoming a full-time content creator. So all of your videos might be related to behind the scenes content creation in some way. Or your niche might be beauty. So maybe you're making some content about makeup and skincare, but maybe in your real life, you're also some sort of beauty service provider. So you're showing a day in the life of being a hairstylist or being a makeup artist or something like that. When you're in the vlogging space in YouTube, that kind of automatically puts you in sort of a lifestyle content space, because vlog style videos are just cinematic videos that kind of show the behind the scenes of your life. So whatever niche you pick needs to be related to your lifestyle or the lifestyle that you're aspiring to and currently building. So whatever type of lifestyle you're trying to portray on your vlog style, you need to have recurring videos that centralize around that lifestyle. So again, this could literally be anything from beauty to health and fitness to gaming to minimalism and organization or decorating. Everyone's lifestyle is different and everyone's interests are different, but just make sure that you're picking a niche and you're picking video categories that are related to that niche. The video should be specific, but the niche should be focused on a specific type of lifestyle, not necessarily making the same exact video topic over and over and over. Okay, so now that we've cleared up the potential confusion around picking a niche for your vlog channel, we need to talk about the second reason why most vlog channels never take off. The uncomfortable truth about why it's hard for a lot of vlog channels to build an audience is because nobody knows who you are, and you're not giving them an incentive to care to get to know you. I want you to think about who inspired you to start vlogging in the first place. Chances are that that person either already has an established status on YouTube and they're showing a super exciting or luxury lifestyle that you aspire to emulate, or if they're a smaller creator, you're inspired by their story. So if you don't have the flashy, luxury, full-time YouTuber lifestyle, you need to craft a story. Rather than just documenting a plain old day in your life, you need to create a series of vlogs that show you documenting a specific journey toward a specific goal. So each individual vlog shares a piece of who you are with your audience, but the channel as a whole documents your journey. And that journey needs to be one that's relatable for your specific audience. This can be really psychologically challenging to do as a creator because it requires you to put yourself out there and risk failing publicly. But this is a risk that you have to be willing to take in order to make it as a YouTuber. So even though the videos that I've posted so far aren't in the vlog style format, I still share my story here on YouTube. And I've shared that story since day one. You can even go over to my channel and click on my bio and see that bio that I wrote when I first started my channel before I even had a video posted is still up to this day. So my story is that I was a full-time middle school teacher and I had dreamed of becoming a teacher my entire life. I landed my dream position at an amazing school, and I realized that this position was financially limiting, and for the lifestyle that I wanted and for the goals that I have and the responsibilities that I have, it wasn't financially sustainable for me. So I started an Etsy shop selling digital products, and this was my first introduction to the concept of attainable passive income. This allowed me to quit my teaching job altogether and reimagine my dream of teaching by becoming somewhat of a teacher here on YouTube. Doing this allowed me to essentially marry my dreams of becoming a teacher with my dreams of achieving financial freedom and success on my own terms. So yes, the tutorials that I make are helpful and the educational content that I make is super valuable, but it's the story that allows me to build my community and really connect with my audience. But when I first started my YouTube channel, I had no idea if I was going to be successful. I could have posted all this and nobody could have been interested, and that would have been super embarrassing. My channel would have flopped and I would have ended up having to go probably back to teaching. But I decided to take that risk and share my story anyway. So now that I'm continuing to post videos, with each new video that I post, my subscribers are able to see my growth and they're able to watch my progress toward achieving my dreams in real time. So even though I'm not living that flashy YouTuber lifestyle and selling digital products didn't make me rich overnight, it's the slow, steady, incremental progress toward achieving my goals that actually makes my channel realistic and relatable. So I don't have to flex, I don't have to exaggerate my numbers or my income, and I don't have to sell people a dream. Instead, I just share my experience and my perspective going after a goal that a lot of people have. So in order to build an audience who's invested in your life, in your journey, in your story, you have to be willing to be vulnerable and be honest about where you are and also what goals you have for yourself, and then use your channel as a tool to document your progress toward those goals. And those goals is what you'll find will actually end up being the overarching niche of your channel. The third reason that most YouTube vlog channels fail is because old YouTube is dead. And a lot of new YouTubers are still in that old YouTube mindset when they're trying to succeed with their channel. So old YouTube was just about showing up, making super unpolished but really relatable videos and sharing them just for the sake of sharing. At that time, YouTube operated a lot more like social media, but now YouTube isn't really a social media platform, and creators who come onto YouTube treating it like social media aren't going to find the results that they want. New YouTube really requires your content to fall into one of three categories, and these categories are being entertaining, helpful, or comforting. So nowadays, when viewers are coming to YouTube, they're trying to fulfill one of those specific needs. Either they're looking to be stimulated or entertained, they need to solve a specific problem or learn a specific skill, so they're looking for a video to help them do that, or they're trying to feel less alone, and they're looking for a comforting and relatable video to help them feel like they have someone there for them. So when you're a vlogger and you're in the lifestyle content space, each of your videos needs to hit at least two of these categories at all times. So that means that if you're making a day in the life video and all you're doing is documenting yourself running errands, that video is probably going to flop. But if you make a day in the life video and you're documenting a regular day in your life as a part-time YouTuber, and you carve out a moment in that video to have an honest and vulnerable conversation with your audience about your struggles as a new YouTuber or exactly what you're working toward, how you're falling short, what successes you've had, by doing that, you're hitting the entertainment and the relatability or companionship category. Alternatively, if you make a day in the life video showing how you balance your time as a new YouTuber, then you're hitting the relatability category, and then you're also hitting the helpfulness and education category. So if you make a series of these day in the life videos where you're hitting all three of these categories with the helpfulness and education, companionship and relatability, and entertainment, and you take all of these videos and you add them to a playlist and you name that playlist I Tried Becoming a Full-Time YouTuber in 90 Days, then each of these videos are hitting these fundamental categories that I talked about, and you're also tying in and documenting your own story and your own journey, which is the super powerful audience building strategy that I talked about in reason number 2. All right, so the last reason that most YouTube vlog channels fail is because a lot of new YouTubers have a super toxic relationship with the YouTube algorithm. And changing that relationship with the YouTube algorithm is partially psychological, but there are really tangible, specific things that you need to do to make sure that your channel and the YouTube algorithm actually get along. So if you're in the phase where you're researching to try to figure out how to grow your channel, I can almost guarantee that you've come across the same type of videos that I've seen. And in these videos, a lot of YouTube growth gurus are having super polarizing and extreme opinions about the YouTube algorithm. And that's because having a super polarizing opinion is a really easy way to get engagement. So either they're gonna say that the YouTube algorithm is evil and it's shadow banning new creators' content, or they're gonna say that the YouTube algorithm has a golden ticket secret hack that will make your video go viral overnight with just 3 videos. But the reality of growing on YouTube isn't either one of those extremes. In actuality, the YouTube algorithm is quite simple and straightforward. All the YouTube algorithm is a tool that's designed to help viewers find videos that fulfill one of those 3 needs that we talked about earlier: entertainment, education, or companionship. So your job as a creator is to communicate to the YouTube algorithm which one of these 3 needs your video is fulfilling for your audience, as well as what specific topic your video actually falls under. And there's 2 very simple ways that you need to do this. So first I'll talk about each of them, and then I'll tell you exactly what you need to do to actually refine your strategy. So the first thing that you need to do is make a title and video description that uses a combination of the right keywords to actually help your audience find you in search. So I'm actually in graduate school for marketing, so I've studied this concept quite intensely, and it's actually called search engine optimization. And my knowledge of this concept was probably the #1 reason that my channel immediately started to grow on YouTube, despite not being very fancy or filmed with high quality equipment. So YouTube is a search engine just like Google, and the way that any search engine works is that it relies on its users to type in different search terms, which are called keywords, and the YouTube algorithm takes the keywords that the users enter to find the videos that are most likely going to fulfill that user's needs. So your goal as a creator is going to be quite simply to determine exactly what your audience is searching to try to find videos like yours, and make sure that you take those same keywords and put them in your title and your description super strategically. If you want me to go into more detail about search engine optimization and how it relates to your success on YouTube, and you need more of a step-by-step tutorial to learn that concept, let me know in the comments and I'll make sure to make a future video about that. Moving on to the second thing you need to do to make sure that your YouTube channel has a healthy relationship with the algorithm. The second thing you need to do is to create thumbnails that accurately portray both what the video topic is actually about and the psychological need for the viewer that the video is fulfilling. So if you're browsing different types of videos on YouTube, you'll notice that different niches have vastly different thumbnail styles. And these thumbnail styles all target the specific type of audience that each video is targeting. So prank style videos have super bold, over the top, eye-catching thumbnail styles, something that's really going to attract the attention of a child or someone who's looking for quick entertainment. So a day in the life vlog video is going to have a completely different thumbnail style than a typical prank video. And those thumbnail styles are going to be related to the specific type of audience that that day in the life video is targeting. So if it's a sort of luxury, soft life, feminine vlog, you'll notice that those thumbnail styles have very feminine fonts. They might use light pastel colors, and they might have a sort of collage look that almost emulates a Pinterest vision board, because psychologically it communicates image to the viewer, this is what this aesthetic sort of lifestyle looks like in real life. But if you were to look at a day in the lifestyle vlog that targets more masculine audiences, those thumbnail styles are going to be a little bit more bold and masculine. They might use a lot of black and white colors instead of the soft pastels. So while a lot of vlog video thumbnail styles nowadays have a lot of different things to look at, thumbnails for educational videos are going to be even different from that. A lot of those thumbnail styles get super straight to the point. The sort of fonts on these thumbnails are going to be very easily readable. They're going to use super simple words that sort of act like a second title, and typically there's going to be graphics that represent exactly what the video is teaching or talking about, and often there's going to be an arrow that points to the central problem being solved in the video or the main tool that's being used in the video to solve that problem. So I know I just gave you a ton of advice and information, and I didn't tell you exactly how to apply that to your own channel. And as a new YouTuber, that can be super overwhelming and you might not even know where to start. But I actually have another video where I walk you through the exact step-by-step strategy that I use to come up with titles and thumbnails for my videos that are proven by the YouTube algorithm itself to get pushed to the first page of YouTube search results and even to the YouTube Explore page. That video is super thorough, and I even take you behind the scenes and show you my own analytics. That way you can see exactly what I do to plan and optimize my own videos. And this is the exact same method that I use to grow my own channel to almost 40,000 subscribers with only 35 videos. And I also just posted a highly requested step-by-step thumbnail tutorial showing exactly how I make my own thumbnails using Canva. So I'll make sure that that video pops up here at the end of this one. That way you can have that step-by-step tutorial handy whenever you're ready to design your next video thumbnail. If you're looking for more practical and realistic advice to grow your own channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button below, and also feel free to drop whatever questions you've got in the comments. No matter how specific they are, I always do my best to respond to every single comment, and I make new videos based on the questions that I get in the comments. The number one rule that I have here on my channel is that there is absolutely no gatekeeping here. I'm just here to keep it real and share everything that I'm learning on my own journey of growing a 7-figure online business and becoming a full-time content creator. And I want to see you guys succeed as well. I want to build a community here, and I want to follow along with your journey. So take a second to tell me in the comments why you started your YouTube channel, what you're working toward, and what your goals are. That way we can all get to know each other, build our community, and find and grow our audiences together. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.